Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research. I'm doing 3 videos only because a lot of things are coming to my attention. And some of it is things that sadly, yes, I have to say sadly, I was right about it. And I was right because some of the things that are happening now are really sad for the other EV manufacturers in China because it's proving where safety is of utmost importance, but yet they forgot that factor when building their EVs. I'm talking about Xiaomi. A Xiaomi car just got into an accident and it killed 3 people. So remember, I've always spoken about safety when it comes to NIO, a 5-star safety rating in Europe, who has the highest safety standard ratings in the world. And NIO has always surpassed that rating and qualified. With the Firefly, we saw that it is made out of submarine grade steel with reinforced bars and 9 airbags, a superior premium EV. We see with our ET9 models also hardened aluminum that's stronger than steel. We see it with the ET5 a couple of years ago, where the ET5 got into an accident with a Tesla Model 3 and the Tesla Model 3 was decimated, but the ET5 only had some minor bumps like jagged, on the doors and stuff dented up. All of the airbags were deployed, whereas the Tesla Model 3, none of the airbags were deployed. And I kept saying on this channel that this founder of Merck Pharmaceuticals said, put the clientele first and all else will follow. And this is exactly what's happening. Sadly, people are dying to prove my point, but it's happening. And as Wells Fargo names Tesla new tactical short idea, expect stock to sink another 50%, says Wells Fargo. Well, I expect it to tank 75% or more in the coming future. It's going to continue to tank massively. And I've went into details on other videos of why I believe that. As even when the share was in the 500 price range, and people say, well, look at the share price, We're looking. NIO's continues to offer 5-year zero interest financing for a car purchase in April for this month for both the NIO and the Envoy brand with a minimum of 16%, which is like $6,280 on average. And we understand that they're doing this until, excuse me guys, until more of the new NT 3.0 platforms come out. We know the ET9 is now selling. We know that the Envoy started ramping up again. We saw the delivery numbers. And we know that the L90 is coming. Another bigger 5-seater than the L60 is coming. So right now, and all of this is going to be on the NT 3.0 platform with our own in-house chips and other technology. So until that time, they're giving this 0% financing to help encourage the sales until the new platforms come out, which is very strategic and tactical. Because remember, the competition in China is fierce. A lot of people in China are still buying EVs based on the shape of the body. They are forgetting that after 8 years, their EV will be worthless unless it's a NIO or one of the battery swap partners that are teamed up with us. They also keep leaving out the safety factor. But what else is happening? Well, we all know that the guy who calls himself the Electric Viking, the Albino from Australia, keeps lying and pretending that with supercharging, battery swapping will be obsolete. And even though he's saying nonsense like this, people keep clicking on his videos. It amazes me. But no, I shouldn't say it amazes me, because we live in a time where 99% of the population are like cattle. They're literally like cattle, like sheep, and they are led most of the time astray. And this is why 99% of the population always stay poor and die poor. So while he spread this propaganda, NIO reaches 70 million battery swap service milestone. And in doing so, we see that every year more battery swaps are taking place than the year before. So much so that in the first million battery swap took 29 months. But now it doesn't take nowhere near that time frame to complete a battery swap. It says NIO provided its 70th million battery swap service on April the 1st, the Chinese electric vehicle maker announced today. Since March, NIO has provided an average of 88,000 battery swap per day. Per day. That's how much it is being adopted. And you will see way more of that now with the Envo ramp up, with the Firefly coming, with the ET9, with the L90, with other NIO brands coming. So every time we sell an EV, I think it's like 90% of them are choosing battery as a service. With an average of one vehicle receiving a fully charged battery from the company's battery swap station every 1.2 seconds. Every 1.2 seconds. But the Albino will tell you, oh, it will be obsolete because now you can charge the car in 6 minutes, in 5 minutes. I don't care if you can charge it in 1 minute because you will destroy the battery. And after 8 years, your car, or sometimes even less, your EV is worthless. And if the battery gets damaged within that time, well, you know the deal. The service has cumulatively provided users with more than 3.7 billion kilowatts of power, which is enough for more than 1.85 million households to use for a year. For a year, according to the company. So again, this is how much energy is being taken away from the grid by when you charge, when you use a charging station, whereas NIO is using solar panels, the most advanced in the world photovoltaic, to charge the batteries for free and then sells energy back to the grid. So all these guys were coming out with their supercharging and they're sucking energy from the grid. Where will they be buying the energy from, guys? Where? What's that? Yes, from NIO's energy company, our battery swapping stations. It says more NIO drivers are using the battery swap service as their charging of choice. Nearly 80% of the power they added to their vehicles come from battery swap stations. The service has cumulatively saved users about 58.2 million hours compared to using public charging facility. And that's another big factor in the ones talking about, the wait time. So even if you don't want to supercharge it, and you say, well, I don't want to kill my battery quickly, so I'll wait 30 minutes. Sometimes way more than that, depending on how many cars is at that charging pile. So even though they're saying 5 minutes, if it's loaded with EVs at the charging piles, your charging time slows down and you're losing time. Precious time you can be spending with your family or loved ones. Compared to traditional gasoline vehicles in the same class, the battery swap service has cumulatively saved users $2.5 billion in energy costs, you heard that right, an average of RMB 39,000 yuan per user, it said. The cost of battery swap service is only 1/10 of refueling, your refueling, the cost. So even if you supercharge it, it costs you cheaper to swap. Making total cost lower, NIO said. So as of now, NIO has 3,229 swap stations in China. You heard that right. Of which 976 are located along highways according to its charging map. It also has 2,756 supercharging stations, providing destination charging stations, providing 13,211 charging piles. You guys heard that right. 13,211 charging piles. NIO completed its first battery swap station in Shenzhen in May 2018. And what a long way we have come since then, when the critics were saying, and now even with Albino, they're still trying to say, oh, it's a waste, it's going to be obsolete. What a clown. NIO saw its cumulative battery swap service reach 60 million in December 13, 2024. 60 million. Thus far from December 13, 2024, we've added 10 million swaps. On March 18, NIO announced a new partnership with Cattle, proving that we're here to stay. So, apart from battery degradation, apart from time, there is so much more to the benefit of battery swapping. Because when you buy the car and you rent the battery under the battery swapping, when you're ready to sell your car or your electric vehicle, we shouldn't call it a car, your computer on wheels, then it retains a lot of its value because the other person just has to rent the battery again. And this is where UXIN comes in, because they teamed up with Cattle for that before the NEO partnership, so that Cattle can provide used batteries, a rental service for used cars in China. You still think battery swapping is not here to stay, Albino? I hope you guys found this video to be informational, inspirational, and motivational yet again. Up, up, up. If so, do not forget to hit that thumbs up. It takes a lot of time to do these videos and the editing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because on this channel, we are waking up the middle class for the first time to get a major piece of the pie from the ground level up as to how the game is played on Wall Street by their friends like the Albino and Tatavosian. And we get rich or we die trying, guys.